Hi everyone. In this section, we'll see the basics of Angular, the history and versions of Angular, installation of Angular, and the code go through in Angular. Basically, Angular starts with Angular version 2 to Angular version 23 up to now. So every 6 months, Angular releases its new versions with new functionality. So for the internship, we'll practice with the Angular 15 version. In higher version, some of the functionality and some of the modules are improvised. So we'll practice in Angular 15 version. So before installing Angular, we need to install Node.js in our system because Angular is a framework of Node.js. So Node.js is nothing but a scripting language that we can call the TypeScript. So to learn Angular, we should have some basic knowledge of for TypeScript. If you don't know TypeScript, then don't worry, we'll just learn Angular. Angular is the framework of Node.js. So Angular is developed upon Node.js or TypeScript. So the first step is download and install Node.js. So to install Node.js, we'll go to Google and type node download and install. So it will open the Node.js official website. As we'll work on Angular 15, so the supported version for Angular 15 is Node 18. So we'll select Node 18 and download. So here if you are using Windows operating system, you can select Windows, else we can select your own operating system. So this is 64-bit, I'm using 64-bit, so I select 64-bit, then Windows installer. So if you click, it will automatically download in the download folder. So just wait for a second, then you should go for installation of Node.js. Then Node.js is downloaded in our folder. Then you just need to double click it and click next. It will finish the installation. Here I have already installed in my system, that's why I am not installing. So it's a very simple process, just double click it and click next. It will install in your system. Then go to the command prompt, just type cmd and the command prompt will open. Just type node -v. So you will see the node version. Here in my system, the node 22 is installed. So I am using the 22 version, but you can use the 18 version, no issues. And in some of the system, if your node version is not displaying, then you need to set the environment. Then go to the search and type environment and go to the edit environment, then go to the environment variable and in the system variable open the path. In the path you will just give the path for Node.js. So just copy the Node.js path from program file, go to your program file, so this is the Node.js folder, just copy the address and paste it here. So it is sufficient to display the Node.js version in command prompt. Then click OK and OK. So if your Node.js version is displaying, then no need to set the environment. Now we are ready to install Angular over Node.js. So to install Angular, we'll use some command line interface npm install -g @angular/cli @15. So @15 will install Angular 15 version in our system. So now go to the command prompt. Here type npm install -g @angular/cli @15. Okay, if you press enter, then it will start installing Angular version in your system. So just wait for a few seconds, then it will install Angular 15 in your system. So now Angular 15 is installed. So what does this npm represent? Npm is nothing but Node Package Manager. When you install Node.js, By default, the packages that are supporting Angular is already installed inside the Node.js. After that, we have installed Angular in our system. Now we need to check what is the version of Angular. Now we'll check what is the version of Angular. So just type ng version in command prompt. So it will display the Angular version. So here you can see the Angular version is 15. So this is the Node version. So Angular version is 15. In your system, the Node version should be 18. So these are the version and configuration you can see when you type ng version. Now the next step is to create a project for Angular. So to create a project, you need to create a folder inside your hard drive. Then you just need to type this command ng-new and project name in command prompt. Now go to your folder. So now you need to create one folder. Let's say my folder name is my Angular project. So go inside this folder and just click in the address bar and type command prompt cmd. So if you type cmd, then it will open the command prompt in the my Angular project folder. So here we need to create one project. So the command for project creation is ng-new. My project name is, let's say, Angular app. This is my project name. So just type enter. It will ask, would you like to add Angular routing? Just type yes. We'll see what is Angular routing and press enter. And here it is asking for CSS. Then just press enter. Then just wait for a second. So it will create all the Angular project files that we are going to use in our project, all the projects files for us. So no need to create your project manually. So when you type this command, it will give you a ready-made project structure to develop in Angular. So Angular has created one project for you. Now go to the folder location. So inside the my Angular project, this is your folder, and inside that the project Angular app is created. So this is your project files. We are going to see what are the significance of these files, what are the src folder, what are the node module. So all these things we will understand in this lecture. But before that, we need to run the project in our local server. For that, we need to start the project. The command is ng-serve. So we just need to open the project file location. Just remember, we need to run ng-serve in this folder only, not the folder you have created the project. So this is the folder location. Inside that, just type cmd and it will open the command prompt. Here we need to write ng-serve. Then it will generate the browser application bundle. Basically, it is generating a document object model DOM file. When an Angular project will load in the browser, internally a DOM file will be created. DOM file is nothing but the document object model of an application, front-end application. So when a browser loads the application, it will load the DOM file, not the actual project files. So now the server localhost is started. Localhost is nothing but our own PC server. So here it is asking to run this URL localhost 4200. So 4200 is nothing but the port number where our application is running. So just copy this URL and go to the browser. In the browser, just paste it and press enter. So it will open the default Angular page in your system. If you have installed a different version of Angular, you may see a different page. So this is your first Angular page which is loaded after entering localhost 4200. 4200 is dynamic. If you have again running the server, then maybe our application will be open in different port. So localhost 4200, if you paste it in the browser, so this is our default page which will be loading in the browser. So now we'll see, so when you enter localhost 4200 and paste in the browser, so why this page is displaying to us. So that flow and that mechanism we'll discuss here. So before that, we'll use an IDE to work in the Angular project. IDE is nothing but integrated development environment. It's just one tool which will help us to develop the Angular project. So normally we are using Visual Studio for Angular development. So just install in your system Visual Studio Code. Just type in Google and enter. If you see, the Visual Studio Code official website will be displayed. So just download for Windows, then it will download the Visual Studio IDE in your system. Then just install the IDE and open the IDE. Now it install the Visual Studio Code in our system. Just double click and press next, it will install in your system. Now you can open Visual Studio Code like this. Then we have already created the Angular application in our system. So this is the folder location for that. Now go to the Visual Studio Code and press file, then open folder and go to that location where you have created the Angular project. I have created the Angular project in D drive, my Angular project. So inside that I have created the Angular project name Angular app. So just double click on that and press select folder. Again, just remember one thing, wherever your Angular file is there, that folder you need to import in the Visual Studio Code. So now I have imported the Angular project in my Visual Studio Code. So here you can see these are the Angular files and folder that are loaded in the Visual Studio Code. So if you see, there is one folder node module. So node module is nothing but the folder for library files. So the library files are preloaded for developing one project. So in Java, inside the program file, the library files are loaded. Similarly, the node module contains the library files. So what are the library files that are loaded here? Who will going to decide? The package.json. If you see the package.json, the dependency folder is there. So inside the dependency folder, library file informations are present. So what are the library files that are going to load? Then the package.json will decide. So what are the dev dependency? So these are the dependency. In near future we are going to use that. There is one file angular.json. Inside the angular.json many configurations are there, out of which you just remember these two paths, which is very much important to understand the basic flow of Angular. So when you run ngserve and localhost 4200, then this is the file, index file, which will be loading in the browser. This point you need to remember. When you type localhost 4200, index file is first loading in the browser and internally it calls the main.ts file. So these 2 points you just need to remember as of now. Then we'll see what is the flow of Angular. So just remember the index.html is loaded when Angular application starts in the browser and internally it calls the main.ts. And here if you see, there is a source folder. So 95% work a developer will do inside the src folder. Inside the src folder there is an application folder. These are some app component, app HTML, app module. So we'll see in detail what is the significance of these files. Before that, I want to show you how the index.html is loaded in the browser and how when you type localhost 4200 this page is displaying. That we are going to see it now. So when you type ngserve, inside angular.json, two files, that is index.html is loaded and main.ts is internally called. Just remember these two files when Angular, so the index.html is loaded and main.ts is called. So these are the two files. So main.ts and index.html. Index.html is the HTML file which will be loaded when Angular application starts. If you see inside the index.html, there is a body tag. Whatever the thing inside the body tag will write, that will display in the front end. So this is basic HTML code. Whatever the things will write inside the body tag, that will be displayed. So here, so we are just calling one tag uproot. So when index.html is loaded in the browser, it is searching where uproot is defined. Now we'll see the second step. When Angular application starts, it internally called main.ts. The main.ts is one TS file, that is TypeScript file, which is called when the Angular application load. And it internally call this app module. So it internally call the app module class and it bootstrap app module. Bootstrap is nothing but it just transfer the flow to this class, app module class. That means just remember, when Angular application load, it call the main.ts and main.ts just transfer the request to app module.ts. So now the index.html is searching the uproot component. As we know, when the page load, it internally call main.ts and main.ts bootstrap app module.ts. Bootstrap means the transferring the control to another component. Now main.ts is transferring the control to app module.ts. Now app module.ts open. So this is the main configuration module in Angular file. So here we have defined the components, we are defining the modules, other modules. So that functionality we'll see when we will go through the code. But as of now, just remember the main.ts is transferring the control to app module.ts. Now inside that, if you see this app module.ts, again bootstrapping to app component.ts. App component.ts is nothing but the main component of our Angular application. So inside the app component, if you see, there is a selector uproot is present, and also one HTML file which is present inside the app component.ts. And to support that HTML, one CSS file also linked with that HTML file. So this is the default component or brain of the application. So now come to the first point. When application load, it load the index.html. As I already discussed, whatever present inside the body tag, it will display in the front end. Inside the body tag, the uproot is present. Now it is searching where uproot is present in the application. Now we got uproot is present inside the app component.ts. So index.html will display app component when browser loads the application. This uproot is connected with this HTML. That means the app component.html will be displayed when application loads. So whatever present inside the body, that will display. So inside the body, uproot is present and uproot is connected with app component.html. So that's why whatever the thing we are seeing here, that is present inside the app component.html. Now go to the app component.html. If you see, this is the app component.html. So whatever the thing that are present in app component.html, that we are visualizing here. So now we'll see in the project how the flow is going. So this is the index.html. So here inside the body, uproot is present. So main.ts is the first TS file which is called when the page load. The main.ts bootstrap app module.ts. Just press Ctrl and click on app module, it will redirect to app module.ts. So this is the main module, main configuration file of Angular application. So inside that, you can see the components are added inside the declaration. Inside the import, the modules are present. By default, we are visualizing two modules, browser module and app routing module. So the browser module will support the multi-browser functionality. So now if you see, it bootstrap again to app component.ts. Now control will go from app module to app component. So this is the default component of any Angular project. And there is a decorator at the red component. So inside this, we have seen one selector is present, uproot, and one HTML file already connected with template URL, which is connecting with app component.ts file. And with this HTML, one CSS file is also connecting. So this is the HTML file which is connecting with app component.ts. So we can call these all three are there: app component.css, app component.html, app component.ts, all are in a single component folder. So altogether we can call they are inside app component. And this is the selector uproot which is present in index.html. That's why when you load the application, the app component is loaded in the front end, because inside the app component.ts the uproot is present and uproot is connecting with app component.html. That's why index.html is calling uproot and uproot is present inside the app component.ts. So these three are interlink each other. And this is the basic flow of an Angular application. The flow starts with main.ts, then app module.ts, then app component.ts and index.html. So whatever in the body part of index.html, that is showing in the front end. So now whatever we'll modify inside the app component.html, it will reflect in the front end. Now we'll delete all the predefined codes that are present inside the app component.html. Now if you see, there is nothing you will see in the front end. And for test purpose, if you write hi, this is my Angular application and Control S, because sometimes you will find one white rounded mark, that is one unsaved file. So for that you need to do Control S, so it will save your application. Otherwise this whatever the changes you will do, that will not reflect in the front end. Now we'll go to the front end. So this is showing in the front end. That means whatever it is loaded, localhost 4200, that is showing in the component.html, app component.html. So we have covered the installation and basic flow of Angular application. So in the next video, we'll see some coding go through and the concept of components and module.